WBUR podcast, Boston.
This is Up Next. I'm Tiziana Deering. Chris Dempsey has been a vocal skeptic of global sporting events in Boston. He's a former state transportation official who led the campaign to kill Boston's Olympic bid in 2015. And he's warned that groups like FIFA bankrupt host cities to enrich themselves. Well, despite that warning, Boston's now gotten firsthand experience with the Soccer Federation, including a World Cup quarterfinal kicking off this afternoon. And we're wondering if the close brush with the Cup's thrills and pageantry has changed Chris's mind at all. Chris Dempsey, good morning.
Great to be back with you.
Okay, so straight up, has it?
It has not changed my mind about what we did with no Boston Olympics and pushing back on Boston 2024. And I'd love to talk with you this morning about the major differences between hosting an Olympics and hosting a World Cup. I think the World Cup is going to cost Massachusetts taxpayers roughly about $100 million. But
and that's based on some calculations you've done?
That's based on numbers I've seen reported in terms of public contributions for the station at Foxborough, in terms of public contributions to some of the operating funds of putting on some of the public events, for example. The Olympics are 2 orders of magnitude more costly. Not $100 million, not $1 billion, $10 billion of costs. And that's because of all the venues that you have to construct. The World Cup, you don't need to build any new stadiums or an Olympic village or these other competition facilities that the IOC requires. Would I rather see the $100 million spent on what I think are more valuable or necessary public goods, whether that's education or public health or our transportation system? Yes. But at the end of the day, this is not going to make a major difference in the future of the Commonwealth.
In speaking with Boston Mayor Michelle Wu and with Governor Maura Healey, I have asked them in the end if it's clear that it will financially pay off. It is early days. Both have expressed confidence that it will, although I don't think we have any final numbers yet. Have you seen anything different this summer that would change your concern about profitability?
You have to remember that some of that economic activity is a displacement of activity that would have otherwise occurred, right? So Boston hotels in the summer are usually already 95% booked, right? They don't really need that much more of a boost from the World Cup. A lot of our bars and restaurants do very well in the summer as well, with regular tourists who come to visit our history or our museums or our universities.
Though they don't run out of beer, for example, like they did during the World Cup.
I think beer sales are definitely up in Massachusetts for sure this summer. And we have the Scots, I think in particular, to thank for that. I don't think that a year from now we're going to look back and say, gee, this has changed the picture of the state or city's budget for tax revenue relative to what we would normally have in a summer.
Overall, what grade would you give Boston and Massachusetts for the logistics of managing this World Cup experience?
I think we did great. And I'm always reluctant to give grades, but let's do it. Let's give ourselves an A for this one. I think we pulled it off. I'm not surprised that we did because I think highly of the operations team at the MBTA. That being said, what I care about with the MBTA is what's the daily commute look like for the hundreds of thousands of Massachusetts residents that rely on it every day. That should be how we think about and grade the T. And I've been concerned that the general manager and even up to the governor have had to answer a lot of questions about T operations during the World Cup. They've had to have many meetings and press conferences about it. And I worry that some of that is a distraction. I don't want that to be the focus of the MBTA going forward.
Your favorite moment, the one that you will hold on to from this summer?
It was pretty cool to be on my street, on my front porch, and have folks in kilts walk by who are headed downtown to go to a game. I've got a really good friend who was born in Scotland. I went to his naturalization ceremony about a decade ago at Faneuil Hall when he became a U.S. citizen, but he still has a lot of Scottish pride. He got to take his 2 sons to the first game, and he sent me videos of he and his sons singing some of the national Scottish songs, along with 40,000 or 50,000 other people. And I do appreciate the value of that, even if it's not economic, just the value of community that did exist this summer, and I hope will continue in some ways.
Chris Dempsey, formerly of No Boston Olympics, and now partner at the urban design firm Spec Dempsey. Chris, thanks.
Thanks so much.